guys, welcome back to my channel. Today is another dun dun anime review. And today we're doing another anime review on Range of Bahmut. Genesis in English, but in Japanese it's Shingeki no Bahmut Genesis. Let's begin. 1,000 years ago, the ancient dragon Bahamut wrought havoc upon the land of Mistarcia, where both gods and demons live among mankind. Working together to prevent the world destruction, the rival deities barely managed to seal Bahamut, agreeing to split the key between them so the dragon would remain eternally imprisoned. With the world safe from the destruction of Bahamut, it is business as usual for bounty hunters like Baron Leon, living a laid-back, self-serving lifestyle. The Admiral Pharaoh goes about his work while on the run from fellow bounty hunters, Caster Litford, a righteous man whose career adventures upon favor. However, Favor's carefree life is thrown into chaos when he meets Amara, a mystery woman who holds half of the key to this fragile piece. Shingeki no Bahmut Genesis. It tells the story of a group of unlikely heroes who find themselves caught up in the middle of an epic clash between gods and demons, forced to carve their own paths in the face of an imminent storm. So this is the guy who's living a carefree life. This is the mysterious woman who holds the key between both worlds. And this is the guy who seeks revenge against him. But it has 12 episodes. It has a sequel, Shingeki no Bahmut version Soul, has a short story, Shingeki no Bahmut Genesis short stories, and Minari Friends. It was based on a card game originally, which I thought was really interesting. It began airing October 6, 2014, and ended December 29, 2014. It is from the Inner Studios Funimation. It is action, adventure, demon, supernatural, magic, and fantasy. Each episode is 24 minutes per episode, and is rated R for violence and profanity for many reasons. So, not for the younger age or faint of heart. By all accounts, this should have been completely a forgettable mediocre show, having the pretense of being a teacher from a side game in their mobile game cards. But the source material had a lot of plots and pieces of cardboard and little more than a collection of comfortable artwork. With all these in mind, the studio itself, called MAPPA, raised to the challenge and completing the shadow of my non-existing expectations as they set the standards for promoting a show. Taking place within a fantasy setting where the combined efforts of mankind, gods, and demons have successfully sealed away the world destructing and destroying Bahamut, the world of Mistarcia enters into the era of peace. To ensure that Bahamut would be forever encased in prison, the sealed key was split into two pieces, giving the gods and demons respectively. 2,000 years, a woman named Amara managed to steal the gods' half of the key, and where they show chooses to kick off this epic adventure. Captured with Amara's quest to reach the lands of Helma, our two bounty hunters with clashing sets of personalities and value. The plot is simple enough to follow, but its strength lies in its brilliant execution and ever-escalating set pieces. Human, monsters, gods, demons of all different shapes and sizes come in a battle for royalty that never fails to disappoint because the action is paced to be fast and furious, but leaves little room for expositions. And this is the sequel. This is the one I'm talking about, guys. And this is the sequel of it. This actually works well in the show's favor because it lets the viewer have vast knowledge of the other vanity shows to fill in the gaps instead of what's the word I'm looking for? Instead of it piling up. Instead of piling up on explanations that will eventually get in the way. I think another thing that actually works is fights take place in various degrees of captivating environments. As the show overwhelms the viewer with extravagant displays, it does fall victim to losing momentum towards the middle portion. As the dreaded recap shows up and the political maneuvers, it's less interesting than the hordes of monsters and soldiers ducking in and out with each other. Fortunately enough, it does manage to pick itself and throw up everything and everyone in the spectacle of a grand finale. With the characters themselves, honestly, Let's see. Like Amari, for example, she is very, very, very pretty and very visually stunning. But besides her being truly visually stunning, and this was the series called Mario Friends, but in English it's called Mr. Friends, so this is the spin-off series of this whole anime show itself, which I thought was fairly nice and very simple. But the thing that this game was based off of a card game series, I was very, very, thoroughly impressed as an outcome. But getting back to the main characters at hand, let's see. Well, let's go right here. I think with the characters, having nothing but the characters weren't necessarily a bad thing. We gotta get posters of somewhat of all the characters together. Well, I guess this one will have to do. Go back to the original one. I think as a whole, having nothing but character illustrations as their starting point, the production staff at MAP had crafted some very lovable characters that are all distant in their attribution and eccentric personalities. It's not all about the action as the main character giving fleshed out backstory and motivation rather than being a mirror. Is actually a very strong comedic male fighter capable of tearing apart much larger monsters with ease. But acts very much like a child in spite of her terrifying power and outward appearance. She is quite endearing and the focal point of the witch show that drives itself. Smitten by her looks and misguided notions, Cassia LaFont is one of the bounty hunters of Company Mara on her quest to reunite her with her mother. A former knight that was disgraced, he still remains his code of honor in every fiber of his being that extends to his fighting style, hair, and upkeep of his promises. He was over the night of shining armor to fall, but I did warm up to him as the series went on, as his character dynamic complexity of the other main members of the cast. This brings me to my two favorite characters of Farallon and Rita. To start off, there's nothing much like your conventional hero, as his goals in life is to loudly indulge in life's guilty pleasure of women, money, and booze, while as a redhead bounty hunter, he is selfish, cash, and utterly underhanded when it comes to spying while wielding a revolver crossbow. How awesome is that? Equally fabulous is Rita, who joins the main cast further down the story. She may look like a Lolita Bait, and I mean she does kind of look like a Lolita Bait. Let me find her. Yeah, that's her. She kind of looks like a Lolita Bait, sadly. But I pray she's not. But never adheres to the stereotypical template that her appearance suggests. Her character interaction, basically, and contributes to make the show much more enjoyable on top of what's already offered. There is a major supporting characters from all different races who don't really don't really get or need a character development, but makes the most of their limited screen time. It's just being plain awesome. Some shout outs include Joan of Arc of the humans, Bashus, a god who managed the battling system, and Razel of the demon faction. Now, going by the animation by the Studio Mappa, the very same team who created, basically, the created Kids on the Slope, Zaka Notera, and the amount of qualities put into this series, I think, as a whole, is the best looking show in 2014's fall season that I enjoy so much. Drawing inspiration from the Western fantasy aesthetic, the art style is typical of the standard Japanese anime look, has a classic Dungeon and Dragon vibes if you're into that. The attention to the details to the various locations and props really helps immerse the audience in the world of the Rage of the Bahamut. Value Genesis. And that's not even mention the stellar cinematic, which leads itself to be more of a Hollywood film than a standard anime show. The smart amount of 3D CGI for the most part looks alright. It doesn't distract from the pretty 2D visuals. The sound of it is pretty good issue. It's kind of the same conductor who did the soundtrack for Ego Praga, Tiger and Bunny, comes in with a full orchestra and chorus to deliver something that doesn't really live up to the epic action on the screen. His work, by all means, was well composed and highly quality, but I can't feel like that the music was rather uninspired and lacked the punch to bring the show to the next level. More specifically, it may be due to the lack of variety when it comes to just relying on strings and vocals, as I found hard to recall anything memorable. Perhaps he had used more of an instrument in his ensemble. It would have been and given more of the visuals the compliment and energy it deserves. In contrast, the opening credits, Existent, performed by Sims, was one of my favorites of the fall season with its rock music in awkward English. It is every opening should do, and that is to be extremely metal and awesome, premium the viewers for each weekly installment. As far as the game advertising, it had the goals of making me try whatever they were advertising for, and they succeeded. Overall, this anime was amazing enough that I simply wanted more and wanted a better way to do more than just download the game it's based off of. However, upon seeing the chunky data interface, confusing bland gameplay, and obvious microtransaction, I promptly deleted it off my phone. I'm grateful that the training game was integrated quite well into the framework of the show, which is the bounty system. And I never felt overbearing or obnoxious. It was just a small reminder of what the show roots were and are, and just how vastly different they are in terms of quality. In conclusion, when completing out the series, it was a big hit for 2004. I simply can't give enough praise to the Studio Mappa for their creativity and their talent in a show that defies all expectations. Therefore, there were the small things that held it back from being a masterpiece, but nevertheless, it's still one hell of a ride. So I give this an 8.5 out of 10. Comment below if you have seen this series or the sequel or the spin-off series called My Daughter's Friend or Mystic Friend in English. Let me know which one of these characters were your favorites and why. And hope you enjoy your Valentine's Day. And I'll see y'all next time for another dun dun anime review. And I'll see y'all next time. Until then, bye.